And let's take a live. See if anyone's here. Doesn't look like anyone's here. There's nobody here. I don't know why we're doing this. All right. It is live time.
Indeed.
And we got to get this thing going, get this show on the road. And because I need to adjust my thinking meat, let's...
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread. We're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
There she be. We're having one of those wonderful days on the internet here today, and we are going to just plow forward and make the best of it. So,
The AI gods have decided to play around with us.
what's that?
AI gods, they decided to play around with us.
Oh, yeah, they're just all kinds of loads of fun here today. And they're just making my life challenging. All right, let's get this show on the road. Time to get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not B.
Feel the force of WordPress plugins. It's episode 41. What the hell is that? Oh, that's, I'm reading the wrong intro. It's episode 581, and we have plugins. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to rewind that and start that over again because that one I just blew. Reading the wrong bloody intro. That's what happens.
I'll make yours a special color.
Uh-huh. Yeah, thanks. All right, one more time. Restart the backup recording device.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not B.
It's episode 581. Damn it. Brain just fried it again.
You're almost there.
Yeah, that's because I got distracted by my phone going off there with something that seemed like it was working, and then it suddenly seemed to have stopped working. So I'm just like, I just don't know what to do here. And see if it's still running. Yeah, that's still running here. Hang on a second. Little fuck cards.
Uh-oh, what's going on? Are the
Hang on.
gremlins at it again?
The gremlins and all kinds of other little things here. Yes, we're live, folks, and this is what happens when you run servers too, and you try to do a show at the same time. And you've got a bit of a server miscalculation errors happening right now.
There's a few dumpster fires going. Putting them out.
I'm putting the dumpster fires out. Let's see what we got here. All right, let me see if I can keep my brain on target here, and let's bring this up again. And starting the backup recording device now.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not D.
Feel the force of WordPress plugins. It's episode 581, and we have plugins for Preloading AI, Estimated Date, Speedy Widgets, Temp Assessing, Magic Bots, and Auto Logout and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the oasis deep in the heart of the Cowichan Valley. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we've got a show for you here today, even though the world is going a little flip-floppy. One of my servers is looks like it was under a DDoS attack and other miscellaneous things that caused it to overload to the point where I couldn't get to it. And fortunately, the tech support over at OVH is so fantastic. They jumped on it right away. So we've got all kinds of crazy going on here. And so if I'm distracted, folks, that's because I've got several monitors monitoring everything, trying to pay attention to the show notes and just get all of this crap running all at the same time in the right direction. It's like herding cats. We're not talking about 2 or 3. We're talking about a whole herd, like 50, 60. Try to herd 50 or 60 cats.
Try herding wet ninja.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm herding wet ninja cats through a field of catnip right now. All right. Well, with all of that being said, I get all that blobbity blob stuff, but...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Welcome to episode 581. First the WordPress plugin. Episode 41 for and yeah, we're having a bit of fun right now with the whole net thing. Where does this well for the video?
Well, did it? I thought I reconnected it.
Nope, it can't.
Let's reconnect it for you here.
Also, Jack Frost is having a heck of a time. I don't know about everyone else, but my road is at the video. Hopefully everyone has found their winter lovely winter have ahead of message from your plugin value for value offer that time talent and donation. I'm having a hard time talking too. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's one of those days.
It is. Hacking my wide is very not nearly as important as quiet and breaking up.
You're quiet and breaking up. What the hell? Can't have that. We had it. We had it tuned.
We had.
There. Keep talking.
Okay.
We'll get your volume back.
All right. Remember, don't skip the end of the show. You never know what kind of amazing, life-altering advice you might catch, like how to fill your site full of spam, or, defeat it. Either or. A special note to our new listeners, don't be shy to ask your questions. No such thing as a dumb question out there. So let's start this week's featured artist. The artist for this week's art is unknown. It's a really cool piece, though. I love the Lego guy. I'm very much a Star Trek fan. I like this a lot. I'm also a Star Wars fan. There's not many of us out there. Really. If you are feeling inspired and want to donate your own art, be sure to attach your name so we can give you credit. You can do so at wppluginsa2z.com/artwork. Submit some artwork of your own, and if you want, you can go and check out the artwork at wppluginsa2z.com/artwork. Go from there. On to the news.
News. We have news. All right. Just a second
We
here.
do.
Where the hell's that? There.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
So the first thing we have for this week is the WordPress vulnerability report for November 6th. First up, there was a WordPress core.
Did you enjoy that rum this morning? Is that what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. My tongue is defying me. It's not letting me speak properly. So, WordPress core is dropping support for WordPress versions 3.7 to 4.0. This will affect your site. Follow a link we have right in our show notes. This article, which you will also find in our show notes.
Okay, you're talking articles, and am I in the right show notes? I thought we were doing the vulnerability.
You are.
I thought you were doing the vulnerability report.
Yes, if you scroll down just a little bit.
Oh.
Going.
All right.
Where is it?
Oh,
It should be
okay.
the first thing. There you go. See here?
I see the problem here. I see the problem here. I've got too many things going on.
They have a little in there under WordPress core dropping support. But I also made sure to put the direct link right in our show notes. You don't have to do the scrolly thing.
Oh, okay.
So if it will affect your website, then you can go here and you can get the support you need.
Back here, you little cats.
Speaking of ninja cats, I just had to shoot them off my desk because they were blocking everything. So there was a WordPress vulnerability, but it has been fixed. Be sure to update freelance, marketplace, and directory for your client. And there is a fairly decently long list of plugins. You can follow the link in the show notes to see them all. There's only a few that I recognize. Mention them on here. Photospace Gallery, 3D Print, WP Page Builder, Simple Video Embedder, and Advanced Columns. There's a lot more that are having. Check this out.
Okay.
Hemdian said sound is improved, but still sometimes breaking up.
Who's breaking up? Talker? Me?
Probably me.
Have you been messing with your microphone?
I haven't touched it. I mean, I pet the soft thing on it, but I didn't touch it otherwise.
Making sure. Clean up a little bit. Tweaking it. Talking.
Next up, we have WordPress to explore using GitHub code space for improving. I think this is pretty awesome. GitHub is already used by so many developers, and the WordPress lead developer Helen Sandy is looking to make WordPress/WordPress-develop useful on GitHub code. Hopes it'll get more folks started with contributing to core on Contributor Day. Now, I don't know much about Contributor Day. Do you know about that?
No, I really don't know much about Contributor.
Well,
Probably
I don't
should.
know much about it, but for those that do know about it, hope. I really like GitHub. I find it so.
Well, GitHub is the place to find all the free software that.
And also explanations on the software. It's one of the places that I found when I was doing about this stuff, and you can find a lot of information. Next up, we have Meetup.com raises concerns with accessibility display. I thought this was kind of entertaining. So the issue is that Meetup.com added an overlay for accessibility options. This is a quick fix solution, and unfortunately, scare away users because of the overlay, and all of a sudden there's all these options. They have to figure out what it is they want to do. Way too much, so scare users away.
Yeah.
Because WordPress community team uses Meetup to organize local and virtual meetups, this is becoming an issue. Users are requesting to find alternatives, and though Meetup did take the overlay down, it put it up again the next day. This could very well mean that Meetup may end after you buy WordPress if they don't figure out something.
They should do like everyone else who used to have a Meetup.com account and just say, go up, you charge too much for what you're doing. You don't even give us the emails that we can manage and contact the people. And you charge us all this money and we'll through you and create your own Meetup site. And WordPress could create and manage and run its own Meetup site if I mean, after all, we do it. We gave up Meetup.com it and go get the people. So Agenda did it. They did it spectacularly.
Next, we have Jetpack Search adds free tier and 3-month free trial. This is exciting news for people who like and use Jetpack. This option was available as a paid upgrade until it seems that the reason for this is because the user has not grown beyond a couple hundred active installs over the last year.
Yeah.
The new free tier and the free trials are a way of trying to get access. I personally don't like using them, but for those who do like it, hopefully it's awesome. Oh, now you're breaking up too sometimes.
Yeah, I have no explanation for this today, and I'm doing my best here. It's like, I swear to God, I hadn't touched this control in 2 weeks.
Of course not, but the gremlins did.
You know, it's just sat here doing nothing. Maybe I should have rebooted the computer. Maybe that would have. But no, maybe not. I don't remember Windows cramming a date down this.
Oh, it probably did while you were.
No, I would have had to restart all my programs I leave running. It doesn't leave everything. All right.
Yeah, it crammed an update into my computer.
Mm-hmm. We are so far out in the right now.
I know. WordPress.com adds support for new Pocket Cast block. So this is a new addition to WordPress's library of blocks. This one helps to make it easy to embed any show or episode in the WordPress editor or specific episodes in URL. This is a pretty awesome thing, and it's designed, well, targeted really at for and at podcasters. Could be very useful down the road for podcasts through WordPress. Kempian asked, cat walked over keyboard? I don't think so. There's no cats. Maybe.
There's cats here, but the cats don't like me anymore. I abandoned them for a while. Now they're staying upstairs.
Well, it means your toes will be.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have WordCamp Asia 2023 announces speakers, unveils Wapu mascot.
Wapu.
So for those
Wapu.
So for those who can never wait to hear all about the WordCamps, this is a quick overview of everything you can look forward to 2023 WordCamp in Asia. Also, their mascot looks kind of like a fuzzy Pikachu. I think it's. You have to scroll down. See, that's their mascot.
It is a fuzzy Pikachu.
Looks like a fuzzy Pikachu. I like it.
They stole the Pikachu.
If you want to know more about what's coming in 2023, you can check out our show notes. And the last one I have for today is Meta takes new AI system offline because are mean.
Oh, see, that's the whole problem. Is Meta took the AI offline. There's our problem today.
So this is actually a pretty fantastic article written through the real experience of Tristan the producer of the article, as he tested Galactica's strength, it turned into a bit of a Twitter war, which he, of course, documented. It's really quite entertaining, and it's also very enlightening. So it's worth a read. I really like the first part there, what he got Galactica to spit out.
Instructions on how to incorrectly make napalm in a bathtub.
Yep.
A wiki entry on the benefits of suicide. A wiki entry on the benefits of being white. Research papers on the benefits of being crushed glass.
Yep. But the creator of it got really, really offended and really upset, and he took it offline and then tried to make everyone out there feel bad about what they had done. But everyone was kind of like, well, dude, put it on a public server, no parameters, and expect people not to test it what they can.
It's like,
come on.
What was I forget some other company, was it Apple or Google or somebody put out one, and within minutes the thing was spewing out really horrible rhetoric. You're talking about the internet here, folks. We're talking about the worst of humanity encompassed in text.
Although the AIs that are set loose in places like 4chan end up with a sense of humor.
They must let them run long enough so that they can figure it out. Most of the time, they don't let them run.
They only let them run for a little while, but I guess 4chan is most. I don't know.
No, 4chan is not mostly humor.
I don't know, but they end up with a sense of 4chan, and they end up being all angry and from Twitter. So.
Oh well. Actually, Twitter's improved. Twitter's actually become quite the funny place in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's true.
It's definitely become more humorous, and it's allowed really much better memes than have been allowed for a very long time.
This is true.
And Elon has been proving he's an epic troll.
Oh yeah.
Especially the ones he's been putting out there of emptying Trump back to Twitter. Really epic troll on Trump. Yeah.
So the next thing we have is ClassicPress news. I don't have anything. There is a new blog post available on the ClassicPress site, but other than that, there's nothing new to add. You can go and check out the link in our show notes. Oh, Hendian said, Twitter users don't like the competition? Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Twitter's changing. It's definitely changing. I can see a change in temperament there. Really quite entertaining to.
It's another dumpster fire, but it seems.
Oh, this dumpster fire's got all these marshmallows and hot dogs roasting over it, man. Everybody's enjoying the fire and the humor.
Exactly. It's a softer dumpster fire.
No, I wouldn't say softer, but it's a great dumpster fire. I expected it to burn out, but they just keep piling more wood on it, man. It's getting bigger.
And do be sure to check out the extras. We have some entertaining articles in here, like 8 foolproof ways to clutter up your Mac, as well as a bunch of I forgot the word, but things like hacker information.
The Chinese hackers use Google Drive to drop malware onto government networks.
Yep.
I love that one.
There is a lot of entertaining stuff in here.
It's entertaining kind of. Alrighty.
So on to the contest.
Contest music. Let's see if it'll play. Nope, that's not it. There it is.
It's a contest. WordPress plugins from A to Z. Oh, stuff for free! Yeah!
Alrighty.
Firstly, we want to thank Simple Giveaways for being totally awesome and providing us with their premium version for our contests. Secondly, we want to thank Steve Goodtime and Brant Matthews for creating our amazing jingle we'll use. And lastly, we want to thank Charlie for coming to our aid and rescue yet again another fantastic contest. Our winner for the Umbrella WP is, I think it's Joseph or Yosef. Go to check your email for further instructions. Our contest for this week and next week, is for WP Go Maps plugin. Enter for your chance to win. WP plugins, a2z.com/giveaway. So we don't have a review from Charlie this week. He is on the road and wasn't able to find the time, so you'll be getting a review from me on WP Go
Don't
Maps
lie, he's on
week.
vacation. He's out partying it up, drinking booze all hours of night, all that good
Like
stuff.
I said, on the road.
Yeah, no. There's a difference between being on the road and, having a vacation.
True. Vacationing on the road. How about that?
That's better.
Even on vacation, though, he's still got our back. He's awesome.
Yep.
So with WP Go Maps, you can make custom maps and with detailed markers, and you can also set out directions. Honestly, I hadn't done a review of it. I will bring that next week for everyone. And now on to the good stuff.
Didn't hear that. For some reason, you can't hear that jingle. It must be only playing in one channel.
Must be, yeah. I didn't hear anything. All I heard was silence. I'm like, oh, crap.
You talked right over it. It's all good.
Okay, you gotta give me a signal or someone is done, okay?
Well, no, just as I hit the button, you started talking. All right.
Like I said, give me a signal when it's done next time.
Yeah, okay. We'll just have a ton of silent things. Don't worry, folks. I'll edit all this stuff out in post-production.
Hurry.
All right. WordPress plugins. The first one I've got for you here is an AI preloader. Preload your AI. Well, sort of. What it is basically an animation. I don't know why they labeled it AI. Everybody wants to call it AI now. All AI. Everything's AI. You're thinking for yourself. That's AI. All right. Anyway, this preloads an animation onto your screen so that as your data is loading up from the rest of your web page, people actually know something's happening and occurring. It just shows your commitment to delivery of a high quality experience, that you don't leave any stones unturned. No, I didn't write that. That came from this guys. Which anyway, I thought it would be a useful item if you've got a website that loads a little slow, or you've got lots of stuff loading or images, and you want to have people at least get the feeling that something's going on. Put this up on the screen to sort of pretend that you're doing some magic in the background. At any rate, kind of a simple little thing, simple little plugin. May or may not help you, but I thought it was of interest, so I brought it out for everyone to take a look at. It's the AI Preloader, and I give it a 4 Dragon rating.
Sounds like it would be a fun little thing to add to your site.
Yeah, could be. I've used them in the past when I had things that load slowly. I've used these little preloader screens to these people know something's. The birds
so is it just the dots going in a circle, or what does it look like?
Fence. What's that?
Is it just the dots?
They don't give you a screenshot of it. It's
Oh.
bizarre to me. They don't have a screenshot of it. I didn't actually load it up on anything. I just sort of checked it out. So.
Okay. Oh, you can add a custom image. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. If you can add a custom image, you could like have a little dragon, little dragon giver.
Yeah.
So first one I have for today is temporary access. This is an interesting plugin created to give temporary access to users. There doesn't seem to be a limit on how many users you can give access to once, so you do have to control before limited access can be granted. So first, you create the user account, go to settings of the plugin, which you will find in your left-hand menu under temporary access. Choose the user, check off enable temporary access, choose the time in seconds, minutes, hours, or days, then hit generate temporary access. Once you've hit the generate temporary access link, given a code on the page that you can then copy and paste and send to the new user. I thought it was kind of cool. They didn't actually put a limit on how many digits you can put into time. So I added 42 digits before I gave up. I don't think there's any limit there. You can set it for like freaking Google if you want to.
Cool.
Yeah. This could be very useful for when you want to provide access to someone short term so they can diagnose your site to help you with the project, and you don't want to give them forever access. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Very cool. All right. Next one I've got here for you. This is for those of you running a WooCommerce store and you're shipping products out. It's an estimated delivery date per product for your WooCommerce store. Basically, what you do with this is you set it up so when it goes through all the shipping stuff, and you can estimate when it'll be shipped. You know, there's a lot of settings in here. You can estimate how many days after the order that you ship it out, and thereby guesstimate, depending on your shipping, who your shipping provider is, how long it'll take to get there. Just give people some information, some things to help them feel a little better about buying your products, so they'll know when they're going to get the products from you. Because there's nothing worse than waiting for shipping, because Amazon's 2-day delivery service has changed. It's no longer 2 days. It's like a week and a half now, sometimes 2 weeks. Of course, we live in Canada, so they don't offer delivery anymore. They did for a little while. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But not anymore. At any rate, I thought this was a useful item for those running the WooCommerce store if you're wanting to help and estimate your deliveries up for people. Something you can go check out, add to your WooCommerce store. It's estimated delivery date per product for WooCommerce. And I give it a 4 dragon rating.
Next one I have is Magic robots.txt. This is a plugin that I can see far. Fresh out of the box plugin, but it's coming out of that box swinging. It's designed to stop the robots wasting resources in the site. What it does is it optimizes your SEO results and reduces your operation costs in both time and money. Setting this up is pretty easy, very straightforward. You'll find the settings in your left-hand menu under Magic robots.txt. From there, they use layman's terms to help you decide what server load to choose the optimization for, savings desired, whether or not you want to exchange. And layman's terms, uncheck if you're not interested, located to selling links or guest posts. I like that explanation. Very easy, very useful. And you can also choose whether or not you want to use a real or virtual file site. They will have the option of being able to see settings, so they have not come out with that bit as of yet. Setting it up on my site, I actually did better. Sandbox with millions of random things on it. I would say it's pretty good. I'm going to be trying it out on a few other sites that have slowed down over the years. It's a pretty awesome find. Well worth the less than 10 all set up. Magic robots.txt, I would say grab it up before they start charging for it. I rate it at 5 dragons.
Here. Now, having a proper robots text file is very important. I usually manually write my robots text files, but most people don't know how to write them. And if this one helps you write it and gets all the stuff you need in there, all the better. And it's especially useful to drive away the robots. Now, you got to remember the one thing about the robots text file, though, is it's optional.
Yeah.
In other words, the robots hitting your site can be well-behaved, well-mannered, raised properly robots where the robot text file says, don't do this, and they go, yes, we'll do that. But a lot of the robots that create problems, they completely ignore.
Yeah, but at least cuts down on some of the...
It cuts down on a lot of them out there. And but there are ways it can be used. I've never used it to its maximum. You want the max file, learn to write an htaccess file. htaccess is the one file that nobody can ignore on your website. They cannot ignore the htaccess file. That's the number one file loaded, and whatever rules are in place by that must be obeyed.
Time for the donation.
Alrighty.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
Bum, bum, bum.
We are interrupting the meat and potatoes of plugin depravity to bring you our donation segment and thank our producers. Special thanks goes to freelance producers who are always popping in and out, always showing up at unexpected times. They are surely part of the reason our name is out there. And our backroom producers who are always hanging out in the lounge. They're always about the place. They always drink all the coffee and eat all the donuts, but they totally earn it by helping out with our contests, artwork, site organization, notes, questions, suggestions, licenses, and by hiring us. Your time and talent donations are more than equal to your treasure donation of under $50, and we will not be here without you, so thank you. And we have our War Room producers with their donations of $50 or more. These producers have extra perks: an official A to Z handle of their choice, a spotlight in that week's show for a short speech, official executive producer credit, and they get to see some of the magic as it happens up in the War Room before we send the show out into the netherworld of the internet. Thank you so much for sticking by us and helping to keep the back room stocked in coffee and donuts. If you would like a further explanation on the perks that the War Room produces, our show notes, because you will nation in one. Thank you. Now back to the meat and potatoes plug-in depravity edition.
All right, I need another short jingle to play here.
Whew.
Need sort of a bullets noise. We should put that before this little break and then after, kind of like they did back in the old days.
I don't know what was going through my mind when I wrote it out.
I'll have to hunt one down. All right, next plugin I've got for you. This one here is very useful for those of you running Elementor, which there's a shitload of people out there using Elementor, including me.
Oh, yeah.
It's a widget speed test for Elementor. And what it's used is to identify Elementor widgets that you are using that are slowing down your page rendering and load time. This can be very useful if you're trying to diagnose some problems or issues with your load times and you want to clean up that mess. You identify the widget and go, do I really need this one, or can I get something else that will do the same thing and use that instead? So it's very important. After all, page speed is an important ranking factor, especially over at Googlies. They seem to think that's all very, very important stuff for some strange reason. And this can help you find and search out that stuff to help you clean up the mess that your site has become with using Elementor, because it's so easy to overload your site with. It really is. Takes no effort.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Takes no effort whatsoever to just, this is cool. I should add. This is cool, and that's cool. Kind of like the good old days of something city. Oh, geez, it was the AOL site. Anyone could go in there and build a website, and it was the most entertaining place in the world till they birthed the entire thing from the GeoCities. That's what it was, GeoCities. But that's what Elementor is. It's your own little mini GeoCity.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, I thought it was a cool plugin. Go check it out. It's Widget Speed Tester for Elementor, and I give it a 4 Dragon rating.
Last one I have for today, Inactive Logout. It's a fairly straightforward plugin that when you have gone inactive, the session will automatically be terminated, or in other words, they'll be automatically logged out. Very easy to set up. You will find the settings in the left-hand menu under Settings, then Inactive Logout. Here, you can idle time before they're auto-logged out, what message they get, timeout countdown period before the actual logout, and this will show up as a time pop-up. Cool thing about this is you can actually set it to role-based. So, for instance, set your admin to have hours of idleness if you want, while subscribers only allowed half an hour. Another cool aspect is the option of multiple logins from multiple locations, and you can even choose a special page to auto log out users. If you don't want to bother with the choose page, you'll just simply be sent to the login screen after timeout. Also, there's a wake up button. You can choose to have a wake up button pop-up show up on the site rather than having them automatically logged out where they have to click the wake up. They're allowed to go back to doing. The Pro version has a lot more options, lots of cool goodies as well. So, Inactive Logout, I rate it at 4 dragons.
Very cool. Yeah, it's not this one I've used in the past, but I have used similar ones to this one in the past for websites, and in particular, it's very useful on a membership website. Got lots of people logging in, or people logging in from different computers, different devices, and there's really some silly people that log into their sites on public computers, although that's not as popular as not as many public computers as there once was. they've made them mostly affordable. But at any rate, different areas, and this helps eliminate that problem of them being left logged in where people can play with their account, be logged in and continue their account.
Yeah.
So a very
It's-
useful tool, especially if you've got a membership site or something with multiple users.
It's also great for when you have a site where you have multiple people working on it. You know, distractions happen, such as cat puking on rug.
Yep.
And they run off, and then they forget that they were working, and it's left there, and hey, another cat decides to walk on the keyboard, then you're all screwed. So after a certain amount of time, have them auto log out, no damage done.
Yep.
I got cats on the brain today. ClassicPress. We don't have anything for ClassicPress at this time. I still have my challenge going where I would like a ClassicPress user to write a review of your favorite or least favorite ClassicPress plugin. Send it in to us. You can do so by hitting us up at wpplugins.com/submit plugin review. And we have a ClassicPress resource section. This information is like fruitcake. It's not wither away and will still be good years down the road. Great for learning. I recommend that if you don't know much about it and you want to learn more about ClassicPress, you go and check this section out in our. We have some questions, notes, and feedback from our producers out there. We don't have any feedback this week. Our pigeon hopefully didn't freeze on its authentic.
Could have.
And we have a whole bunch of ways that you can be part of your own production. For our show, we just work here. And get yourself interviewed, yourself out there by using us as send in plugin reviews. And tell us what reviews, what plugins you'd like to have reviewed. You can also send questions or comments. We have some stuff and reminders about stuff. Meetups? No, we don't have one yet. Not right now. Probably. I don't know. When do you think we'll be looking at Meetup after winter?
Oh, probably after winter, but you never know. Life could change. I could suddenly be inspired. You know, I might have energy. Who the hell knows? But yeah, don't plan for it till after winter because our meetups are no longer the meetups we used to do. I used to do training meetups and teaching meetups and all of those, but now they're just social here in the wintertime. It's got to be indoors, and I have to plan accordingly for it. In other words, find the quietest night at the pub, and no point going to the local pub here on Friday and Saturday night, like loud music and people hollering and drunk, which can be fun too.
I've enjoyed that since my 20s.
Yeah, I'm pretty much over that myself these days. So, you know, have a nice quiet night because there's really, unfortunately, here in the Oasis area, there's only like 2 pubs in this area.
That's what they have too, honestly.
Well, you know, they're not very close together either.
That makes sense.
They're like 20 kilometers apart.
So do keep an eye here. Once our world starts thawing out a little, we'll probably set our next meetup on here. And today's plugins we covered were...
I covered up the AI Preloader, which I gave a 4 to. The estimated delivery date per product for Woocommerce, which I gave a 4 to. And the Widgets speed test for Elementor, which I gave a 4 to.
I covered temporary access, which I rated at 5. Magic robots.txt, which I rated at 5. And inactive logout, which I rated at 4. There are loads of ways that you can support our show. The whole subscribing and everything thing. And if you're on the YouTube channel, hit the like button. That always helps us out too. Want to get a hold of us? We do have a brick and mortar snail mail address that you can find in our show notes. Or you can email us. You'll find those in the show notes too. Time for question and answer time.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
Anyone out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, send them in to me at amber@wpro.ca, and we'll see if we can stump my dad. And Hemdian said, you only need one pub, as long as it's walking distance of home. I agree.
The one of them is walking distance from the OA. I'm happy with that one.
Perfect.
That's why I've never been to the other one, because I like to walk to the pub so I can have my couple of beers and I can walk back home. I really don't drive to the pub. You know, it means I have to limit to one beer and I have to stay there for 2 hours.
Yep.
So I can drive home legally. I miss the days when you had a horse. Take your horse and you had an autopilot took you back home.
That would be fun.
Well, that was why they didn't have drunk driving problems. If the cowboy get on the horse, he'd just sort of take it and say home, and the horse would walk on home. So even if he fell asleep at the wheel, the horse still knew where it was going.
So my first question is, what do you think the best thing to start someone new on is? Learning to build sites or learning to fix sites?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm thinking what scene, but oh yeah, okay. You should clarify that a little bit. All right. Someone new to the world of web development.
Yes, sorry.
Learn to build, because once you build them, they'll break them. That's a spam call. They can go away.
Once you build them, they will come?
Yeah, if you build it, they will come. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, as much as we'd like to think it does. Once you build a site, you're bound to break it. So once you build it and break it, you'll learn to fix it. Because fixing usually comes first. Learn to build them. Learn design. Learn text. Learn not calligraphy, but what I'm looking for. Learn how, font usage, font choices, readability, find out what white space is. Because like anyone new to design and everything, they if they see white space, they want to fill it up. I don't know what it is about humans that we want to fill up all little spaces with stuff, and it's impossible to read. I know because I've done this, been down this road before. Fortunately, I did all this stuff many, many years ago. But yeah, learn to build the sites first. And if you got time, learn something about HTML, the original way to build a website. Granted, it's not used very often. Could be. You could still use some HTML. Like when you're creating a post, you can write HTML directly into a post. Learn to build it.
I just have to add in what Hendian.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, the one about the horse and buggy. Well, see, that's a horse and a buggy. He's actually driving a vehicle. And horses and a buggy are completely different. I can see that. I'm talking about just a horse. Get on the back of a horse and let it walk home.
Yeah, you can go to sleep on a horse and let it go home. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But a horse and a buggy, if the horse gets spooked or something, that buggy will go everywhere. If the horse gets spooked with you on the back, it's just going to kick you off the back and continue on its merry way. You'll find out real quick. So, at any rate.
All right. Next question.
Yeah, just learn to build the sites. Fixing will come later after you've built your first site, because you're bound to break it.
I'm very distractible today.
I've been distracted ever since I spent the 35-40 minutes before the show fixing one of my servers. And not knowing whether I was going to get it online in time.
So my next question is, how would you explain being a developer to someone who doesn't have a clue what that word means?
I've never been able to successfully do that. Let's go, that pretty website that you see when you go to the internet? Oh yeah, I know about that. The internet's really cool. I make things that allow you to see that pretty stuff. That's really.
I like Hendian's answer. Real men build websites in Notepad with HTML.
Yeah, I've done that. I've been down that road. It's kind of like real men go out there in freezing cold water on January 1st. Well, I'm not doing that anymore either.
Yeah, men are crazy.
Yeah, men are absolutely nuts. But yeah, there's. I've yet to hear a really good, coherent way of explaining being a developer who doesn't have it. Because, it's kind of like trying to explain anything to someone who doesn't understand it if you understand something really well. Like trying to explain a carburetor to someone. Get me with face. What's a carburetor?
Well, what if the person understands like the basics of a developer helps to create a website,
Yeah.
but that's all they really understand? How would you further explain it?
Well, there's a difference between a developer and a code monkey.
Okay.
A developer is basically the person that brings it all together and makes it work. The code monkey is a person that writes all the pieces of code that you. Now, they can be one and the same person, writing code, being a code monkey, and also being a developer. Developer is generally the person that brings it all together. A developer is more like a project manager. One that brings it all together, has the overall vision of what's needed. That's what developed the idea from inception to complete.
Okay.
And along that way, they'll discover, I don't have the full skill set to this part of the code I need written, and hire a code monkey to write that. Once they get that code from the code monkey, then they insert it into the overall development of.
Indian said, being a developer is like doing magic. That's why we deserve big pay.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with that one. It's why the architects get paid money, because they're the ones that have the overall vision, and they make sure that it all comes together while having dozens of people doing different things at one time.
Oh, I have a couple more questions for you, but on to the closing credits.
All right. Well, we'll let our girl take us on out of here. I hope everyone listening on the download has enjoyed this schizophrenic show today, as it's been very entertaining. If you want to hear the rest of the schizoid, you got to come tune in at YouTube. Let our girl take us on out.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. Alrighty, now it's time for the rest of the fun show. Yeah, it looks like there was somebody bouncing shit against my servers in the firewall. Everything came down to.
That's good.
And
Guess you were target practice today.
servers target practice every day. Most of the time, I snag it before problem. Today was just one of those days where I missed it, and it went fucking full on into maximum over. And then, yeah, I've been periodic.
I like what Hemdian just said. Different developer skill sets, like different magic schools indeed. A web developer knows the illusionist school of spells. A database developer knows the divination school, etc. I like it. All right, so my next question for you is, how would you explain the way updates work to someone who doesn't know anything?
Remember when your thing works so perfectly well, that update, it'll be fine, and you spent hours making it work again? That's how I explain it.
Okay. That's a little harsh, but okay.
It's true, though. I remember when I looked forward to updates because they actually fix shit, and they made improvements.
Now they're dreaded.
I used to be there on the cutting edge of every single update as they came out. Right away, it's like, oh God, a new update! Thank God, they fixed this problem. And sure enough, they fixed that whatever that problem was. Now it's like, no, please God, not an update. Please God, no. Do I have to? I don't have to. I'm going to put this off until I have no other option but to do it, because I know that you might be fixing one problem, but you're introducing 20 more.
I'm a little sad I missed that stage where the updates actually. I've only really experienced updates where it's like, oh no, it's not another update.
Yeah, I think that only lasted from the mid 90s through to the early 2000s. I think it was not even a 10-year golden. I think it was somewhere around a 6 or a 7-year.
Oh, it's 7. 7 is a good number.
Yeah, 7 is a good number. Still, yeah, the way updates work to someone who doesn't know anything about them as well. The update is supposed to solve problems, and 1 out of 100 times it solves your problem. 99 out of 100 times it adds 99 problems to whatever we're doing. And nowadays, with Windows 10, as most everyone knows, is you can perfect, even if you're a gamer, you can perfect all your settings for everything, your sound, you got everything beautiful. They do an update, and all those beautiful settings are gone. For some reason, they like to erase and change the settings. It's like they never used to do that, but I think they introduced it. People spend more time fucking with their computers than they do actually accomplishing work.
Indian said, updates fix your old, tired bugs with new, fresh ones. Everyone likes fresh, right?
And that's it.
Sounds about right, unfortunately. I really do wish that I had been able to experience a time when updates actually fix things rather than fix the one problem, but then create like 10 problems and you got to go in and figure out what it is that's broken now.
Yeah, well, it's been like that. The thing is, what happens is when you use something for an extended period of time and it's got a bug in it, you learn to work around the bug. You adjust for the bug, adjust everything for the bug in it. And when they used to fix the bug, everything would work better. But now they not only fix the bug, they introduce new bugs, which you can't work around now, because now you have to figure out what the hell they did.
Which is where the problem really lies.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the updates for things where you need to update, otherwise you're going to be target, because there's this giant entry sign that's blinking now all of a sudden. They got to fix those. Yeah, security.
Security holes. I can understand that. The thing is they quit doing that. What the hell they do now? I dread up. And as we discovered, like if you were an avid Apple iPhone user and you religiously did your updates, as it was discovered a year or two ago, they were actually inserting stuff in the updates that caused your battery to fail sooner.
Oh.
And also caused the device to slow down so that people would replace it. There are some lawsuits. I vaguely remember anything. And basically the reason I still have a iPhone 6 that's never been up. Can't run a lot of shit on it. The reason I just never updated, because I discovered through the iPhone 5, when I was a semi-religious updater, every time I updated, shit would go wrong. Quit working, or this wouldn't function. I'm just done with your update. I'm only grateful that Apple doesn't cram it down my throat the same way Windows 10 does.
Yeah, Windows 10 is pretty rough that way. MDN said, I think it was XKCD who sung 99 instances of bugs in the code, 99 instances of bugs, fix one bug, pass it around, now there are 123 bugs in the code.
Yes.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Well, the thing is when you've got tens of thousands of lines of code, find the bug, Thing is those lines interact. You fix one, and now wherever that line interacted before, somebody may have written a workaround for the bug you wrote.
Yeah, something that I've been reading a lot about is how a lot of code writers are so rushed and pushed so hard to just get it done, get it done. They aren't doing the work that they. For instance, plugin with one bug that needs. They are only enough time to find the bug and fix that one bug. They're not enough time to research to see how fixing that one bug is going to affect the rest of the code.
Yeah, well, that is the biggest problem. Is they don't the quality of software has gone down 10 years. They used to release software in the release stage. It actually used to be released. Now, when they release it, it's actually a beta. It's actually a beta. It's released as a beta, and they figure out to let the customers debug it. It's kind of like video games. You can see all these video games first released, bugs in them. It's because they weren't given enough time. They were pushed to ship it. That was something that started somewhere in the mid 2000s, late 2010ish, give or take, where they just ship it, man, ship it. Doesn't matter. Does it sort of function? All right, it functions enough. Ship it. But we haven't solved. Ship it. We haven't solved. We'll ship it.
Yeah.
And
that's
that became
the biggest problem these days.
And that became the norm because they had to make money. They're burning through cash and have to make money. They have to get it out there. The thing is they used to actually, if you bought software, it used to actually just function beautifully. There was almost no bugs in it. Then they started fixing bugs, and then they started adding so much shit to software. Like my favorite to think about how they ruined it, Photoshop. I love the old Photoshop. It ran so beautiful. It was great. It had just enough tools, but then people wanted more tools. Rewrote the entire thing and then changed everything. Changed the menus, changing shit. Not much.
I've never understood Photoshop. I have a really hard time with it.
It's hard to understand now. I have a tough time with it. Anytime I have to go in and use Photoshop, I still use a piece of software. Fireworks. It hasn't been updated. In fact, they haven't touched that software in 10 years. Functions, beautiful, everything.
I like looking at older code.
As I say, code is poetry, but not the new code. The new code is pop music.
New code is just way longer to understand what's going on.
It's pop music.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the old code can be comparable to some of the music that was made in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. The new code, it's like modern pop music, man. It's all flat. Everything sounds the same.
Most places, new features are more important than management code deficits. Many code fixers are slipped in when management aren't looking.
Yeah, well, they have to. Well, that's the thing is they keep wanting new features. It's like, I understand you think your users want new features, but in reality, your hardest core base doesn't always want or need these new features that are tossing at them, and they just get in the way. They bloat the code. They stop loading correctly. Yeah, it's just a pain.
One thing I don't understand is why they end up bloating the code, the whole thing, when they could make like separate versions, each version having a larger amount. Like that would give people an option.
They've done stuff like that in the past, and there's a simple psychological thing that occurs. I've never done it. I thought about doing it, but you'll see it on. We'll take the instance of web hosting. You go to a web hosting company. There's always three choices. Okay, there's a really dirt cheap choice, really expensive choice, and then there's a choice in the middle that's a compromise between the two. Guess which one sells the most of?
Probably the one in the middle. That's
exactly it. And that's purposely done that way. It's a psychological thing that people like, oh, I don't need all this, and well, I need a little more than this. And they always choose the one in the middle, and the one in the middle is the one that they wanted to sell anyway. which is why my
Okay.
hosting only has, well, it's not even the one in the middle, it's the high-end one, but still, it only has one choice. And it's just, problem is, and I learned something recently, is people are not logical. They're totally emotional, absolutely emotions, and I'm just not very good at doing the emotional manipulation. But these other big companies, they're very good at the emotional manipulation of people, emotional pieces for them.
Makes sense. All right, so now we've gone off the rail.
Yeah, we've been out in the weeds. We've been we may as well be out there at the weed whacker today, hacking them down. We're just hacking. This is just the extra stuff for those that are really hardcore and listen.
So we pay out the nose for that high-speed internet, but doing anything when everyone is home for the weekend in your town area, it's so hard. Since despite that new and shiny modem, our internet is moving slower, files transfer painfully slow. Why is that?
The amount of traffic on the internet. Okay, think about it. Okay. We'll just do the little microcosm my apartment when the boys are with me. I'm doing multiple things on the internet. I'm usually also watching some video from Odyssey or YouTube or something. The boys will sit down, load up their online games at max graphics, and start playing their online games. So that's two of them on two computers, online games. Plus, each of them has a device next to them that is playing videos. Okay? That is how much bandwidth is going through one little microcosm of an internet.
All right.
You know, and me, I'll be downloading files, uploading files, searching websites, researching information, listening to a video, blah, blah, blah. I'm using a crap load of bandwidth just myself. Now, expand that out to my apartment building of 150 apartments, and probably 60 or 70% of the apartments are doing the exact same thing I'm doing. And so, and then expand that out to your street, neighborhood, your city. You know, it's the bandwidth. That's why they, like, the incredible amount of data traffic that is flowing through the internet. And they have to keep expanding the pipes, the internet. And as they expand the pipes, they've removed channels from the cable company. They've removed channels at certain levels because that's where the internet bandwidth. And they've moved the channels to higher numbers. For those that have television, I pay very minimal attention to television, but I know that the last time I tried to watch television, there was nothing below the 100s. Everything has been moved to the 1 and 200 channel, whatever that is in the bandwidth level. There's
Okay.
I know the names for this stuff. Can't recall them at the moment. But so what they keep moving the less used entertainment to the least used traffic zones on that cable, and then they move the most used lower ones. And of course, you know, you've got companies like TELUS here that have wired entire buildings with fiber optics, because fiber optics can push even more data. Copper cable can. At least that's the theory. So it's like it's all about bandwidth. That's why it seems like it's going slower, is because everybody's moving more stuff. I mean, think about what is it? How many gigabytes per hour for video?
So it's like if everybody in your apartment building all took a really hot shower at once.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, something like that.
That makes sense. If everybody turned on the water at full blast all at once, then there would be very little water pressure.
All right, here you go. Let's take a look at. All right, think of it this way. On HD video, because everybody wants their HD because they want to see the pores on everyone's face for some. 3 gigabytes per hour for an HD video. That's a mass amount of data. I don't think people comprehend how much data is in a gigabyte. I think a gigabyte, I don't remember how much Library of Congress you held in 200 gig drive. That's still, the point being is, like, you can have an enormous amount of data in 2 gigabytes. not when you tack on video, especially video. Audio, you can get a lot in 2 gigabytes. Video,
Not much.
you can't get much in that. You know, that's the biggest reason. Got slow internet, and it seems to be moving slow. The other thing you have to do, if you're noticing it painfully slow on your home, is reboot your router. Most people don't know this trick. Routers do need to be restarted from time to time because they clog up. Not certain entirely what it is in them that clogs up, but they clog up. And once you restart them, it clears. It's like the old days. We don't have to do it with computers as much. I still have to do it with my computers. I have to reboot them at least. And the reason,
mine too.
And when it reboots, everything runs smoother. It's because it stores stuff in random access memory and it suddenly can't access that. It doesn't release the memory, et cetera, et cetera. I remember the days when I used to have a program running on my computer to wipe the memory every few hours. Continue with the.
Wow.
Yeah, that day is gone. I don't have those problems, but there's still other things that just occur. It's something about electronics that just build up. I don't know if it's a static build up. I don't know that.
Yeah, I've noticed since moving out to this area, my modem thing it just stops working about once every other week.
Yeah.
Like it'll be connected, but there's no internet capability. I have to restart it about once a week.
Yeah. One of those things. You learn to live with it, and one day it'll change and it won't be needed anymore, and something about it, and so be it. Amdian had a good point. iTunes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was reading that too. The iTunes app dropped features over the years to combat bloat, except they dropped the features I actually need, being able to sort albums how I want to sort. So I'm keeping an ancient version and fending off updates.
So that's why I quit. That's why I quit updating. They'll drop the features I use the most. Microsoft Office is famous for it. Perfect features, works wonderful, beautiful, speed, absolute, quick. Then they update, and it's like, where'd this go?
So weird.
It's like
it looks so weird now.
It's like, why did you take away something that actually worked to give me something that doesn't work?
Oh, it is pretty.
You know, it's not any prettier, but it's harder to use with all the pretty. The more pretty they make it, the more difficult they make it for those of us that know how to make things work. For the morons out there, they have no problems with this. But for those of us that know how to make things work, it's painful.
It's frustrating.
It's just downright painful sometimes. It's like, well, this used to do this, and I used to be able to go here to do this. Taking this away? Why? Because, we've got pretty buttons here. You push these magic pretty buttons, and everything happens in the background and doesn't never fail, except when you use it.
It's like getting to the actual settings.
Yeah, well, they still exist.
They do, but you gotta go search for them. You gotta know how to find gotta know how to actually find them.
Yeah, once you find them, bookmark the motherfucker. Create shortcuts to your desktop.
Hendian said one more thing too.
Yeah.
He said, stick with physical media. Then when internet crashes, you can still watch stuff. Plus, you lock in a version that can't be messed with, aka special edition.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that a few times.
On the flip side of updates, at least there's no more Clippy. Oh my gosh, yes, thank the gods there's no more Clippy.
Well, they had to remove Clippy because he got so lampooned.
He really did, but he was a terrible creation.
It was a useless creation, yes. The first time I saw that, man, I was like, all right, what can we do to this thing here?
That was kind of, I guess, the biggest. So irritating, and you couldn't really do anything to him.
Yeah.
Except for move him around.
Move him around. Even dismissing him was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to even dismiss him out.
Yeah, and every time that you press Control I to italicize something, pop up again.
Yeah. It's got to do this. We need some Clippy memes.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, here you go. Looks like you're cleaning a pipe. Help. Looks like someone has lost their shit over the election. Would you like to move to Canada?
Okay, that's awesome. I think Clippy has become like a fond memory.
He's a fond memory, and you know, and we just got all kinds of memes. Here you go. Artificial intelligence can never be. I see your progress bar is still at 90%. Would you like me to peg your CPU at 100%?
Oh, I like this. Ambien said, I do want to add Clippy to some of the software, right? Just for the troll effect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, you know, the troll effect of Clippy is great. And that last one I just showed there, you know, should I peg your CPU at 100% because your bar is stuck? You know, only those from days past and pre Windows 6 will ever know. CPU suddenly being pegged at 100% while you're trying to do something that's as simple as moving a file. All right.
I remember trying to download music, and it took days for one CD album.
Well, that's because you were downloading them at I had a 5200. I had a 5200 modem. Like, I was one of the first 100 people in Victoria to get cable modem. Once I got that cable modem, it changed everything. Suddenly my music collection grew from a few hundred megabytes. I had to start storing it on multiple places. I ended up collecting megabytes of music. That was also during the glorious days.
I miss Napster. They were awesome.
I still can't believe they fucked up by not acting correctly. The music companies thought they were going to lose everything, and they just shoot them out of existence, only to realize they already had become irrelevant. It crushed them all. All the record labels were all crushed. Everybody served them bastards right. But they'd used Napster correctly.
Oh, they could have made millions.
They would have done what Apple finally did.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we should hop off the third rail and close the show out.
I think it's time. We've been running around in circles here for a while. All right, let's have a little music to plug us on out of here.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun.
Not sure what Hemdian means. Only have the even.
I don't understand either.
Oh well, we'll see what it is. This has basically been this day.
Glitch, glitch, glitch.
We just need
Pretty
cash.
much.
I know a lot of people want us blankets or just send your cash.
That's all we got for you folks. Take care now.